and welcome. You're watching 6 Stories at 6 with me, Akanksha Khajuria. First up this evening, we are tracking 6 stories for you. We will be, in fact, starting with the expose of Pakistan by India, by National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, who has exposed Pakistan propaganda over Operation Sindoor. Next, shocking admission that has come from Nepal as far as Pakistan is concerned. Then we'll also tell you about the Gurugram murder case in which several revelations have come to the fore. The obsession has there turned ugly, and we have the ground reports there from Gurugram in Haryana. Next up, we'll get you another story that is in fact coming in as far as Himachal Pradesh is concerned. Kangna comment on flood has backfired. Kapil Sharma's cafe has come under attack in Canada, and the security around a comedian is now under the review in Mumbai. And finally, a massive new sanction looms large over Russia, and this time from the United States, as we are learning that we will break down what it could mean for India. And these are the stories that we're tracking for you this evening. Let's get started. In fact, let's start with India exposing Pakistan yet again. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval has slammed foreign media for their reportage of Operation Sindoor, challenging them to give one proof of the damage to Indian infra by the Pakistani strikes. He said that foreign media reported that Pakistan did this and did that, but images show damage done by Indian Air Forces on Pakistan bases. Now, it was precise, and no targets were missed, is what National Security Advisor has said. Watch this.
We have to develop our indigenous technology. Mention was made here of Sindoor. We are really proud of it, not for necessarily what people perceive. That how much of an indigenous content was there. We are proud of it, that some of the best systems that worked. Whether it was our BrahMos systems, whether it was our integrated air control and command systems, whether it was our radars, whether it was the whole this of it that was being done at the battlefield surveillance about the position out there. We decided to have 9 terrorist targets in the crisscross of Pakistan. It was not on the border area something, which we thought were there this way. We missed none. We hit nowhere else except that. And it is also not that this was a very, it was precise to the point where we knew who is where. Entire operation was started at 5 minutes past 1 and was over at 28 minutes past 1. 23 minutes. Thereafter, a lot of things are said that this thing, foreign press and all these things, they said Pakistan did that and this. You tell me one photograph, one imagery. These days, these imageries are from the satellites all over the world. They are this thing, which shows any Indian damage being done, even a glass pane having been torn. I don't know, only our forces will be knowing what's happening in this thing, but I am just telling, they brought out photographs, they wrote this thing, the New York Times put out where is this? Only imagery, they said 13 air bases of Pakistan now and now, before 10th May and after 10th May. Whether it was in Sargoda, or it was in Rahim Yar Khan, or it was in Chaklala, or it was in Rawalpindi, any of the places that there are 13 important air bases, including the Bellary, where they have got the AVAX, the control systems. Now, I'm not telling any of this thing. I'm only telling what the foreign media, on the basis of the imageries, have put the images in it. So we're very able to achieve it. We are capable of doing that.
Let me go across to international affairs expert Dr. Nandanda Kishor. Thanks so much for speaking to Republic TV. Pakistan's lies have been exposed, and National Security Advisor has said that there's not even a single image to show that there was a damage to Indian infrastructure at all. Your reaction?
Yes, I think the National Security Advisor was on point. I think it's also important from the perspective that we live in an era of media narratives, and also we live in an era where AI dominates all the discourses to everything. And what he was essentially pointing out was very, very clear, whether it is New York Times or anyone, the type of talks that they were doing. But in reality, none of them were able to produce any evidences. In fact, there were quite a few independent researchers from other parts of the world who are very clearly telling the Western media that India has been exemplarily successful, whether it is Bahawalpur or whether it is the Noor Khan or any of the places that we are talking about. India has done precision attacks, and perhaps nobody would have been in a position to think this way. But unfortunately, none of the Western media was not in a position to believe. So I think he is also battling what we call as narratives. Narratives are very, very important in international relations. And these narratives, the negative narratives that they would want to perhaps put across to say that India also went through damage, I think pointedly what he was trying to hit back was very clear that provide me an evidence. I'm the National Security Advisor who was essentially part of Operation Sindoor. I'm absolutely okay to accept it. Now, at the same time, he was also telling that India is not the India that what you used to see maybe perhaps 10 years ago or 15 years ago. This is a changed India, a confident India, an India that has taken up the leadership role, and also an India that is much more confident of what it's doing. And it's also a very responsible India. India would not do anything that is reckless. But he is also time and again, it's emphasizing on the type of precision and the success that we had, whether it is the question of the LET or whether it is Hizbul Mujahideen. He very clearly said that we have missed none, and we have been so clear about it. Perhaps if people would want to cross-verify them, they can check all these things. Number of people in Pakistan actually made videos of them, and they shared on their own social media and many other things. So what National Security Advisor was telling was coming from the horse's mouth. If somebody else says something like that, we may not believe, or somebody else says that there is a different type of narrative that gets sets in. Unfortunately, we also have a situation more than the outsiders. We also have insiders talking about it. But here, he was very clearly talking about what India precisely did in those 13 air bases within 23 minutes of the operation, using India's indigenous technology. I apparently have written also the type of issue that Chinese have had since Operation Sindoor. It has just exposed a whole network altogether. So it is very, very significant that we listening to Mr. Ajit Doval making it clear and also challenging the Western media that please get your facts correct. And we don't live in a post-truth world. We live in a world where facts still matter. I think that sums up what exactly he was trying to say.
Absolutely. So Pakistan has been exposed by India. In fact, Dr. Nandanda Kishor, stay on with us. We have another story. In fact, not just India, but Nepal too has exposed Pakistan's terror threat. Advisor to the President of Nepal has said that terrorist groups like Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed are posing risk to India and potentially using Nepal as a transit point. Listen into what he said.
From 1969 to 71. The Khampa movement in Nepal, also referred to as the Khampa insurgency, was a significant episode in Nepal's historical involving Tibetan resistance fighters known as Khampas, who operated from Nepalese terrorists against Chinese forces in Tibet during 1960s and early 70s. The Khampa movement in Nepal was a complex interplay of regional resistance, Cold War geopolitics, the movement resolution through 1974 disarming operation facilitated by Nepalese army action and Dalai Lama's appeal effectively ended the Khampa insurgency.
Let me once again bring in Dr. Nandanda Kishor, international affairs expert. You just saw the reaction coming in from Nepal. In fact, this is a huge embarrassment for Pakistan on a global stage, not just India, but Nepal has also exposed him, saying that now Pakistan is using their country as a terror den to basically transit to the country. And I'm sure our country is aware about this and working on it. Your reaction?
Yeah, I think what Mr. Sunil Thapa, advisor to Nepal President Ramchandra Podel, was essentially talking about is that using the Nepalese soil as a transition to attack India. I think this is so significant from the perspective that most of the time, a lot of strategic thinkers in India have been pointing out to India that India has not been in a position to manage its neighborhood, India's neighborhood first policy, what is it up to, and every sort of thing they were talking about. And here is a climate that's very startling. And for the first time, they're making this so clear. Sunil Thapa was just not mincing words, and he was simply telling. This was essentially in a seminar that was organized by the Nepal Institute for International Cooperation and Engagement, which is led by a good friend of us called Dr. Pramod Jaiswal. On the 9th of July, what he was telling is that Lashkar as well as Jaish, these two institutions which have also been UN designated terrorist organizations, have been using Nepal as a launch point. That means a transit point, which for a very, very long time has been a case of concern. Whether it is about the Indian Mujahideen and the operatives that we saw, Yasin and a number of other people who were also caught in the borders. In the same way, this has been reiterated again. India was talking about this for a very long time. Now this is coming out very, very clearly, because invariably India believes that Lashkar is behind the Pahalgam attack in Kashmir, and the resistance front that we are talking about, essentially a Pakistani terrorist group, claimed responsibility about all these things. But these are all simple networks of Pakistan. Pakistan is used to this. Whenever there are UN designated organizations and they have to whitewash something, they will immediately put some of these organizations or terrorist organizations into proscribed list, and then subsequently allow them to come with new names or different names. And for the first time, we are seeing where someone like Sunil Bahadur Thapa, who holds a very, very important position of being an advisor to the president of Nepal, making it very clear that not anymore you can do this one and against India. That is much more important. They might be doing to many others, or they might be doing to their own region. Whatever, all said and done, this is very important that they are asserting and telling that you cannot use my land for this one. I think this is very important from India's perspective also. India has been able to tell, or India has been able to make Nepal to tell this. And it comes at a very significant point, because Pakistan has been denying that there are no references, there are no such instances where we are using foreign soil for doing this one. It is the other way around, blaming India. But here is a very clear case where a third party, that means a country that is not immediately, doing all the time good things to India, or always speaking in favor of India, but very clearly making it clear to the international audience, saying that this is what Pakistan has been doing. This is what some of these organizations, which are blessed by the Pakistan government and the military, are doing this type of work for Pakistan in Nepal, and using Nepal as a transit country. I think this is significant, and I find it coming at a very important juncture. And today we see Ajit Doval speaking about it, and precision attacks to everything. It just only adds up to the type of indulgence that Pakistan does every now and then with regard to terrorism. And terrorism is its bread and butter, and they have been sponsoring terrorism for a very, very long time. So Pakistan will be called as a bluff in the international system.
Absolutely.
And for
Absolutely.
sure,
so Pakistan has been exposed not just by India but also by Nepal there. Thanks so much for speaking to Republic TV. Now shifting our focus to the state of Haryana, let's tell you about a shocking murder in Gurugram. A promising tennis player that has been killed by her own father. And now Republic has accessed exclusive details from the police investigation. Mother of Radhika Yadav has given a chilling statement to Gurugram police, calling the accused her own husband a possessive and obsessive man. from controlling who she speaks to ordering whether she can go to her training academy or not. Deepak Yadav is a man who was full of jealousy, and this is what the mother of a victim has said. His final trigger was a comment that had come from a villager who was alluding to him enjoying his daughter's money. In fact, he said that they were both fighting from the last 3 days, and then he snapped and killed her. Listen in to what the eyewitnesses are saying.
हम मंदिर में थे, मंदिर से होने के बाद में हमने यहाँ बात करते हुए 3 लेडीज को मैं देखा, दीपक को, पत्नी को, वाइफ को, और 2 लेडीज और था। तो मैं ये देखा कि क्या बात कि हल्ला हो रहा था, तो बारिश हो रहा था, तो मैं फिर भी मैं रुक के मैं सुना, हाँ, तो मैं क्या बात हो गया, और कहीं अगर ज़्यादा बात तो नहीं है। फिर हमने आधा घंटा तक रुक के मैं यहाँ पे सुनने लगा कि बात क्या है। फिर इतने देर में आधे घंटा के बाद फिर दीपक निकला उधर से, पिस्टल लेके बोला हमने मार दिया।
अच्छा, आपके सामने हुआ है?
जी जी, सामने हुआ नहीं, लेकिन
उन्होंने आपके सामने निकल के बोला कि हमने मार दिया?
हाँ, वो सामान हाथ में था। अच्छा। उसके हाथ में था। फिर हम लोग फिर ये बातें अपने होने लगे, भाई क्यों मार दिया उसने, उसका लड़का भी आके क्यों मार दिया भाई, बच्चा आदमी से क्यों मार दिया, क्या बात हो गया ऐसे जो उसको हटा से मार दिया। इतना दिन हो गया कभी गलत चला नहीं, किसी से बात भी नहीं करता, इतना मीठा बच्चा इतना था, सीतारंग मिया बच्चा था, लेकिन किसी से बात भी नहीं करता।
सीतारंग कौन, दीपक के बेटे?
जी,
दीपक जी के बेटे।
हाँ जी, वो भी आए, तो उसने बोला क्यों मार दिया। अब कोई किसी ने गलत नहीं किया तो क्यों मार दिया भाई, बोला हमें मार दिया।
तनु जी, कब से राधिका यहाँ पर आ रही थी, सिखा रही थी, उसने एकेडमी कब शुरू की?
सर दिन तारीख तो नहीं पता, एक लिए 1 महीना या 25 दिन कुछ ग्राउंड मतलब चलाया, उसके बाद में फिर चले गए।
क्या रेंट पे लिया था?
हाँ, रेंट पे लिया था।
ये तीनों कोट उनके हैं जो हम देख रहे हैं?
हाँ, ये 3 कोट लिए थे सर।
कितने बच्चे आते होंगे सीखने के लिए?
सर अभी नई नई एकेडमी चालू करी थी, तो वो एक बेटी आती थी, एक बेटा आता था, तो मतलब सिखा के और अपने चले जाते। वो सोच रहे थे कि और बच्चे आएंगे तो फिर मेरा काम और बढ़ जाएगा, तो फिर उन्हें कुछ लगा होगा कि काम नहीं कुछ मतलब क्या बढ़ रहा, तो अपने फिर मतलब
डेली रोजाना आती थी?
हाँ, रोजाना आते थे।
अलग अलग बैच चलते थे, सुबह शाम, या सुबह आना शाम को नहीं आना, इस तरीके?
नहीं, दोनों टाइम,
सुबह शाम।
हाँ जी, बोलने चालने में बहुत अच्छा था, मतलब भैया करके बात करते थे कभी भी, मतलब ऐसे नहीं कि ओ क्या है, ऐसे कुछ भी नहीं, मतलब भैया इधर आ जाओ, मेरा काम कर दो, फिर चले जाओ।
And at a time when Himachal Pradesh is reeling from impact of cloud burst, landslide and flash floods, Kangar North has landed in a serious trouble for saying that she neither has a cabinet nor funds to help the flood-affected people of Himachal Pradesh, her own constituency. In fact, her statement has sparked a massive controversy, with locals questioning her responsibility to provide disaster relief. Locals also confronted North, questioning her delayed visit to the area. And meanwhile, Bharatiya Janata Party is in damage control mode. Party's President JP Nandanda has once again stepped in to salvage the situation. First up, listen in to what Kangar North said. In fact, my colleague Tanisha spoke with the former Chief Minister of the state on this massive controversy that has unfolded there. Listen in.
ये डिजास्टर रिलीफ हो गया या डिजास्टर का जो काम हो गया,
देखिए इस सारी चीज को लेकर के मुझे लगता है कि बात करने की आवश्यकता बहुत ज्यादा नहीं है। सांसद होने के नाते वो फ्लड इफेक्टेड एरिया में आए और विजिट किया उनने, और विजिट करने के बाद वो अब गए हैं, और नड्डा जी का आना हुआ है, उनने बहुत एक्सटेंसिव दौरा किया है हमारे इलाके का जो फ्लड इफेक्टेड है, और हम लोग सब लोग मदद कर रहे हैं। हम उस पर फोकस्ड हैं इस वक्त काम करने के लिए, मदद करने के लिए। वो आई और आकर के लोगों से मिली हैं, लेकिन उससे पहले जाने की स्थिति थी नहीं, डैमेजेस इतने थे कि कनेक्टिविटी नहीं थी। इवन चीफ मिनिस्टर जो है वो भी आए और आकर के हेलीपैड से ही चले गए थे, क्योंकि आगे कनेक्टिविटी नहीं थी। तो इसलिए मुझे लगता है कि इन सारी चीजों को लेकर के अनावश्यक रूप से इट्स नॉट रिक्वायर्ड आई थिंक कि भाई उसमें कोई बड़ा विषय कोई उठाने की आवश्यकता है। लेकिन चलो अब जो उनकी ओर से जो आने का था वो आकर के मिल करके गई हैं बस।
Now shifting our focus, the investigation into the attack on comedian Kapil Sharma's cafe in Canada has intensified, and today a team of Mumbai police visited his residence. The security covered what we are learning could also be reviewed and heightened in Mumbai. And meanwhile, police team also arrived at his cafe in Canada and sealed the entire area. Watch this report.
Just days ago, comedian Kapil Sharma was celebrating the launch of his new venture, Cap's Cafe in Surrey, British Columbia, a dream project meant to serve coffee, conversation and community. But that peaceful image was shattered early Thursday morning. At around 1:50 am on July 10th, shots were fired at the cafe while staff members were still inside. Police arrived shortly after and confirmed that no one was injured, but the cafe's windows were riddled with bullet holes. The Surrey police say they are investigating the incident and examining possible links to prior threats. As of now, no motive has been determined. However, the banned Khalistani extremist group Babbar Khalsa International, through one of its operatives Harjeet Singh Ladi, has claimed responsibility. Ladi, listed by NIA as one of India's most wanted militants, alleged that the attack was retaliation for comments Kapil Sharma made, which he claims insulted Nihang Sikhs. On Friday morning, Cap's Cafe posted an emotional statement on Instagram. They called the incident heartbreaking, but said they were processing the shock and not giving up. Further vowed to stand firm against violence. Back in Mumbai, police visited Sharma's Oshiwara residence. Security has been increased and the actor was questioned about any potential threats related to the incident.
यही है जो कपिल शर्मा घर, और कपिल शर्मा जो है 9th फ्लोर पर रहते हैं पूरे परिवार के साथ, और उनकी सुरक्षा का रिव्यू करने के लिए मुंबई पुलिस की टीम पहुंची हुई थी। मुंबई पुलिस टीम यहां पे सादे वर्दी में अंदर मौजूद है, क्योंकि जिस तरह से कनाडा में कैफे पे हमला हुआ उसके बाद कहीं मुंबई पुलिस एहतियातन यहां पे पहुंची हुई है और सुरक्षा का रिव्यू कर रही है। मुंबई पुलिस की टीम अंदर मौजूद है। एक टीम आई थी ओशिवरा पुलिस स्टेशन की, अभी जा चुकी है, लेकिन अंदर मौजूद है। यहाँ आने जाने वाले लोगों की निगरानी किया जा रहा है, पूछा जा रहा है, तब जाके अंदर छोड़ा जा रहा है। लेकिन जो कपिल शर्मा जो है इसी बिल्डिंग के 9th फ्लोर पर रहते हैं, पूरे परिवार के साथ रहते हैं, और मुंबई पुलिस कहना है कि अगर ज़रूरत पड़ी तो कपिल शर्मा को सुरक्षा दिया जाएगा। आप देख सकते हैं सादे वर्दी में भी मुंबई पुलिस अंदर टीम मौजूद है, और मुंबई पुलिस की टीम जो आई थी उनका कहना था कि रिव्यू किया जा रहा है कपिल शर्मा के जो कैफे पर हमला हुआ कनाडा में, उसके बाद कहीं मुंबई पुलिस रिव्यू कर रही है और ये देख रही है कि अगर ज़रूरत पड़े तो कपिल शर्मा का और सुरक्षा बढ़ा सकती है। फिलहाल घर पर मुंबई पुलिस की टीम मौजूद है। अगर कपिल शर्मा यहाँ से जाते हैं, अगर यहाँ स्टूडियो जाते हैं या कहीं पर जाते हैं, तो मुंबई पुलिस की टीम उनकी सुरक्षा के लिए तैनात रहेगी।
An investigation continue both in Canada and India. Kapil Sharma is yet to release personal statement, but his team and the cafe remain defiant, hoping to return to business under safer skies. This attack comes amid a spike in extortion threats that have deeply unsettled Vancouver's South Asian business community. Whether the shooting is tied to that or is a more targeted act remains a critical question for investigation on both sides of the globe.
Shifting our focus, US President Donald Trump has said that he would strongly consider backing a new Russia sanction bill to force Russian president to end the Ukraine war. Bad news for India as it proposes 500% tariff on countries such as ours that purchases Russian energy products. Now, Indian imports oil and petroleum products from Russia, and this move by the United States is aimed at choking energy trade with Russia. But India could end up paying the price. Petrol, diesel, uranium, petrochemicals, all of these things could face a tax nightmare. And that would mean one thing for the common man here in India: higher fuel costs and higher inflation. And this is all we could pack for you in this bulletin of 6 at 6. We'll be back tomorrow with more such stories. Till then, keep watching Republic TV.